Welcome, ladies, to the short but powerful and impactful mini masterclass on how can we create more money and more freedom with less time. And because I know you're busy women who have got full lives and mums often running businesses and all the things too, let's get to this because that is what we care about. We want money, we want abundance, we want impact, we want freedom, and we want it to do it in less time. So that's what I'm going to help you do in this short series video here. So what if you could remove the blocks that are keeping you stuck and oscillating in your business and also get this easy state of flow and way of being in your business without wasting time and money on hustle, strategy, mentality, techniques that are outdated, very masculine, and just don't fit often well in the way that women want to run business? Well, if you could have that, today I'm going to show you how to have that ease and flow and abundance and freedom in your business, and cannot wait. You see, in order to get where we want to be, it is like a car. We need to have a car that we get into, and it has an engine, it has the motivation, it has the movement, and it will flow us and drive us towards where we want to be. But so often, we don't have the motivation or the drive, or there's something sabotaging, resisting, getting in our way. There's going to be speed humps, obstacles, resistance along the way to getting to our desired destination. And often we don't know how to even go around that, how to navigate it, how to get through it. So these are some of the things that keep us stuck and blocked in business that I find. Also, we want to know our destination, our desired end result that we want to create. And so often we think we know it, or we think we might know a little superficial part of it, but it is not the real true destination of our heart's desire. It is not gigantic like it truly is in our heart. And so then it doesn't compel us and propel us as much either. And so these are a couple of the issues that I find in business and for women. And I'm going to help you see how to unpack some of these and really get that gusto, that motivation, that movement, that flow occurring, knowing what you truly deeply want to create and removing that resistance along the way, navigating around it. So these are some of the things I'm going to talk to tonight, whenever you're watching this. But let's keep going. So the harsh truth and reality is that 81% of coaches and women in business, and actually it's gone even up to 90% now in the COVID times, fail in 2 years' time. And there's, so many stats around, even most of them are earning under $30,000 a year, and they just can't live off that. They can't keep it up. And so they end up giving up on their dream. And this isn't just people who just give it a go and want to try it. This is people who I speak to daily who deeply desire a business of their dreams. They deeply know this is going to facilitate the life they want to create, the freedom, the impact for people, the love for their kids. And they deeply believe they're going to make it, to believe that this is what matters to them. But time and time again, I see them drop off. I see them fail, give up, let it go. It just is too hard and it doesn't work. And I'm going to share with you how you will not be one of those numbers and how we can make sure that you don't become the average statistic that so many do. In the next few minutes, I'm going to go through the 2 key beliefs that successful coaches or women in business have that struggling women in business, entrepreneurs, do not have. The 3 biggest mistakes that you are making when it comes to creating a sustainable business, and my 5-step strategy that's going to empower you into the superwoman that you are, and also attract ideal clients, grow in an abundance and freedom. Just flow it in towards you with a lot of ease. And it might sound too good to be true, but I'm going to share with you how it's not. It's actually true. So just a little bit about Miranda. I actually studied psychology, counseling, coaching, like 8 years at uni, was very passionate about it. And I've now worked with over 120 different women and clients individually, one-on-one. And I also have done a lot of speaking all over the world. I've actually ended up speaking to 3,000 people all over the world and having coaching clients all over the world. I don't even know the numbers of countries that I've worked with people in. And I've been having my business in coaching for the last 6 years, working in the well-being space, the health space, for 16 in the psychology counseling space, but in my own business in this capacity for the last 6 years. And I started out as a health coach. You can see me doing a little training there, and I had a podcast, and I've done all the websites, all the Facebook, all the Instagram, all the TikToks, and every type of thing under the sun, every strategy under the sun. I've given it all a go, and I've become a business coach, actually an intuitive business coach, the last 2 years of my business, because I succeeded in the work I was doing there. And I wanted to share that level of success and freedom with other women, because for so long I was struggling and it wasn't my reality. So I wanted to share the steps, which I'm going to share with you today. And this is my beautiful boy, my Harrison. He is nearly 5 now, and he is a big why behind my business. I'm going to share a bit about my story with him and how I started my business when he was just a little baby. But he's a key reason as to why I wanted to create it, why I've continued to create it, even though it has been so difficult and hard so many times along the way. And then obviously you, the women watching this come before me, I have such a vision to support you and to help you find a proven way to naturally create 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, 100K months, which is what I've created the last 2 years, because you might feel really stuck and you're oscillating and struggling and surviving and hating on business. And I know there's a proven way to get through, and I want to share that with you. So typically who I work with, and maybe who you might fall into the category of, is someone who's started their business or just starting out, but they're struggling and there's inconsistency around it. They're not attracting leads. They're not getting clients consistently. They're not creating abundance. They're not having ease and flow with it. They're not really aligned and in love with it. And it's affecting their life a lot of the time. Or they are full-time working, perhaps even full-time mumming, and they're wanting to have a business on the side and really build it up so they can step fully into it as well. That's typically the women that come to me and I support. So a little bit more about me, just so you understand why on earth is Miranda sharing about this. Why would you listen to me? I had this dream about my business, and I wanted to be a coach since I was 16 years old. And it was coming to the point of my 30th birthday. And I was 6 months pregnant at the time, about to launch my business. And I just thought it was going to look like this. I thought it was going to be my ticket to like freedom, abundance, success, impact, influence, all the things I desired. I just looked at my business and just thought it's the ticket to all of that. I'm so excited. And a business and anything on your heart and your desire can have the power to create such beauty and magnificence in your life and create freedom. It really can. But my reality when I started business was it actually looked like this. And so many women I speak to, they believe it's like this. And then a couple months in, this is actually what it's looking like. We are struggling in the reality of how hard business is. And to the point that it actually starts to crush us and destroy parts of us and destroy relationships, health, other impacts in our life because of the struggle effect that we're having in our business. And so for me, I started my business when I was, as I said, few months pregnant, and I was so excited about it, about to launch into a wellbeing motivation business, speaking business. And at the time, my husband was struggling with some elements that I'm not going to go into now, but we couldn't stay together anymore with what he was struggling with. And so within 1 month, my whole world came crashing down. It was a man I loved for 10 years, no longer was with anymore, was about to be a mom, facing being a single mom before I was even a mom. And I then had no money because I had no job because I was on mat leave. And I wasn't able to start my business because I was so down, depressed, even suicidal at this point. So this was the sort of foundation in which I started a business. Now, a few weeks in, a few months on, I started to really embody and practice the coaching, the counseling, all the things I'd done, and really internalize it and heal myself and continue to work on healing myself. And I dramatically changed, dramatically had a high level of resilience. And so when my son was 6 weeks old, I actually started my business as a vision and a birthing of what I wanted to do. But so much of it still, actually for 3 years beyond that, was a struggle town. I was oscillating from $0 to $5,000 months often, and it wasn't enough to live on as a single mom. And so I looked like this. I was here and I wanted to get to this dream and this vision, but I was struggling in the middle and I just couldn't get there no matter what I did, no matter what I tried. I tried strategy coach after strategy coach, some insecurity mindset people, all of these work. And I started making some momentum sometimes, but then it would just come crashing back down and sabotage it again. And I couldn't quite pinpoint what was wrong, what was the missing piece. And then all of a sudden I had a $10,000 month, which is something I was looking for and chasing for 3 years. And then within 1 month, I did some work around energy and manifesting in my work internally on myself. And I had a $10,000 month without doing any strategy. And then I started to understand the power of energy and all these pieces I hadn't even looked at, all this emotional work and this embodiment work I hadn't even looked at. And I started to find there was 5 stepping stones, 5 pieces that got me to this dream place in my business. And then I had a $10,000 month, and then I had a $20,000 month, 30,000, and I've gone up to 100, and I just keep building beyond and beyond. And I'm going to share with you how I took those steps, what I learned, because for 3 years, actually my whole life, I struggled with lack, insecurity, abundance issues. And then for the last 2 years, I've never had that problem ever again. And I've only just gone up and increased and overflow and elevated. And so I want to speak to that today. So today, tonight, whatever you're listening to it, we're going to learn how to have this business with flow, ease, and effortlessness. I work 10 hours a week and I had 100K a month. And I have it from this aligned place that creates freedom and a life I love. Before, it was destroying me, my health, my business. It was destroying my love, my life, everything. It was consuming it because I thought I had to work 50-hour weeks with a newborn son. We were in the strategy hustle mode that I was in. But now it's just facilitates and supports and loves on my life and grows all the other parts with it. So I want to talk to you about that. And also it's based on proven results, not just my results, but I have so many clients, probably over 120 with all the clients I have, testimonials of how this works. And I want to share with you the 2 types of people I see in business and what was that point in that month when I changed from making that amount of money and continuing to grow to when I had the years of struggle before that. It was because I was being one person and I became another. I was being a hobbyist in my business, and you may be too, or whoever is watching. A lot of the time I see a lot of women in business and coaches playing hobby with their business. They say they want it. They say they deeply desire it. They might try some little things at times, but they're not really going all in. Versus a pro. And the pro is someone who shows up no matter what, does whatever it takes to get there, and just says it's done and it's going to happen. And I'm going to actually go and find whatever way I need to make it happen. And I know for me, there was a real switch that went on and a light that turned on, and I changed into pro. Even though I was kidding myself thinking I was really trying hard before, there was a big distinction. And I do see that in the women who make it or don't make it in business now. And they also have often 2 different types of beliefs that come through that. And one of them is about our urgency, our sense of urgency. When we're in the pro mentality, it is about now. The time is now. The only time we ever have is now. Whereas when we're playing hobby, we always have excuses and all these reasons as to why now isn't a good time. We'll do it later. I'll invest in someone later. I'll do more in my business later. I'll go and put a post out later. I'll do this. I'll go at some point. And this New Year's resolution. And then later never comes. And the other piece is that I know when we turn pro, we just do decide that I am ready to do, and I know I did this. I was ready to do whatever it took to make it happen. I actually got 2 coaches at the time that cost what I'd spent in my business the last 3 years prior to that. I did it all in a couple of months with these 2 coaches. And it wasn't even about the investment, but I had this mentality and mindset of I will invest, I will spend whatever time, whatever energy, whatever effort, whatever courageous action, whatever I need to do, I am going to do whatever it takes, because I'm not recycling the same problem, repeating the same problem ever again. And that was a key belief compared to, again, buying into our excuses. So a key issue I see that a lot of gurus and things in the space may tell us, but it's missing the key pieces, is that some people actually care so much about the embodied work or the shadow work and the emotional energy part, but we get so stuck in the emotions, so stuck in the past, so stuck in the memories and doing all of that work that we never create a new future. There's no energy to create new things. And so that can be an issue I see some talk about. And another one is the opposite, which is we can get so stuck in the mindset work, so into just trying to change all these beliefs, but it's not deep enough and it's not sinking to the root causes of why we're doing things. And the mind is not the main controller of our whole life. And so that is another reason why I see a lot of people are saying the mindset work's really deeply important, but there's actually more to it than that also. And the last piece, which is probably a really big piece I see a lot of gurus and business coaches talk about, is the part of motion and hustling and working really hard and doing all the strategies. And that's what's going to make it for you. But again, I'm going to share with you through my story and a bunch of clients, that is not the way to success in business either. And so often that we are looking for this magic pill, we're looking for this strategy, this, person who's going to come along with this perfect strategy that's going to make it for us. And I used to work in the health industry, and, we'd always be looking for these different diets. Women would often look for different diets and think that will make it, but it's never actually the diet or the strategy for business. That's about 10%, maybe 20% of what happens in the success in business. The rest, and 80%, is our energy and our emotion and where we are functioning at in that level. And I'm going to speak to you. This is like that missing ingredient. This is that missing piece that I learned that really changed the game for me. And before I look at that in a moment, I want you to just check in with yourself and be real about this. This is uncomfortable, but this is really important. If you want to change, you need to face the truth. And that is, how are you feeling in business right now? What is the reality for you? Is it where you want it to be or not? Are you struggling, and where are you struggling? Where are your challenges? How are you feeling about it emotionally? Where's your mind at with it? What is the impact it's having on your life? Are you creating lots of consistent leads and clients? Or is it not? Or maybe you're doing that, but it's so dull and it's life sucking and it's really not giving you any energy either. There's no abundance from that either. I don't want you to take stock of that, because I'm going to share with you the strategy that I used and the 5 stepping stones I used to clear through this. And it's through my alchemy method that I uncovered this. And it involves particularly us working at our superconscious level, our soul level, and our strategy level, our action level. And I'm going to share with you what those 5 pieces look like. So firstly, very briefly, one thing as well, I do have a longer video on this. If you want to hear this more and explained more, then reach out to me. I can send that to you as well. But very briefly, we have a level of consciousness in our mind. We have a genius that we call the superconscious. It's our intuition, and it's the part of us that knows how to create abundance, freedom, everything of what we desire completely in our life. It knows how to create it. It's living on this highest place. It's your highest version of you. Then we have our unconscious mind that is living in the past, is repeating the same problems and patterns since we were a child. Many of us don't know we have 2 consciousness. We have 2 levels of being in us. And because of that, we actually end up being at our default, our victim. We end up being in the ego. We end up recreating the same problems and patterns over and over again instead of the superconscious. And so the first piece is understanding and tapping into, how do you actually tap into the superconscious, tap into your superpower. Literally, it's like you're tapping into becoming Wonder Woman in your life and your business. I found out about this 2 years ago, and this is exactly the moment where my whole life changed, my business changed, and everything, a part of it for good. The key criteria as to where this abundance came from. So learning to tap into that is so powerful. And the second piece is our energy and our emotion. We have lower vibration emotions and higher vibration emotions. And when we're stuck in insecurity, hopelessness, apathy, we're really stuck in frustration or fear, and we're not wanting to push ourselves out there, that is going to limit our business. That's going to limit the level of abundance and money that we can let in. And as soon as we step into a higher vibration, we know how to deeply do this and embody like love and joy and these other essences that are really deeply a part of us. As soon as we know how to alchemize and then access those emotions, our business booms, it expands. That month that I made my first $10,000 month was when I understood this and learned how to access this. I did no action, no strategy, and I created $10,000 just from doing this energy work. Now, you see, action is there. I'm not saying you don't need to do action. I was experimenting it and testing it out because I was trying to research, but I now embody and apply all the pieces, which makes the secret sauce, because without the action, it doesn't work either. And so then coming to the action piece, there's actually 2 sections to action. There is the strategy that is the sort of business acumen foundation, smart working strategy that works in business. And it's also things that are still embodied and aligned to you and not sleazy sales tactics, for instance. But then there is also action that is intuitive, inspired, something that's more downloaded just specifically for you on what to do and take. And I know both of those are so important in order to get my business to where it is and to keep creating what I desire to create. So that is another key piece. And the last piece is your relationship to money and abundance. You can have all the pieces, but if you have funky energy around money, you have beliefs that you're not deserving of it, you're not worthy of it, you think lack is the part of your life, debts, all the things that you maybe experienced as a child, you will keep repeating it over and over again until you face and know how to alchemize your relationship to money also. So they are the 5 steps to success, 5 steps of alchemy to natural success. And I'm just going to briefly mention, because we don't have a lot of time, Lauren was one of my clients, and she came into me and she'd done a year's work on coaches with strategy, and she made $0 from it. She is a hardworking woman. I know her. She's a high achiever. She was trying everything they said, but she made nothing from it. She applied the work with the superconscious. Within 2 weeks, after a year of nothing, she made $25,000. And then within a few months of that, she made $100,000. And now she's booked out and for the year to come. And crazy, because she applied this superconscious work. And then we have Darian, and I was working with her for a little bit. We had a little break, and then I'd upgraded some of the energy pieces I was doing work on. And she had one session with me just the other day on this. And she, over that week after that, we did this energy work with her, brought in $300,000 into her business. An investor came to her and wanted to put that in. And she had a company who was a competitor of hers closing down and wanted to give her all of their clients, plus a whole bunch of other things that happened in that same week that she knows was tied to what we did in that session, because she hadn't had results like that most of the year. And lastly, we have Kristen here. And she was working with me on some of the superconscious pieces also, but applying it into the business and how to make more inspired action in business with a bit of a structure and strategy too. And even though she was oscillating and inconsistent in the year prior, when she came to me and worked to her and we plugged up those holes for her, she went on and created her first 20K month. And now she continues to boom, and it's so exciting to hear from how she's going as well. So I wanted to share with you, I see so many women, and it's like we're trying to get through the door to success and abundance and freedom and all the things that are on the other side of our business. But there's this combination lock. There's this lock with a few combinations that we need to press into to get through. And so many women, and you've got to decide which woman you are, because I know what one I decided to end up being, sitting there banging at the door, trying to get through, trying to break the lock, or maybe even sitting there guessing which number goes with what, which is going to take years, if ever they're going to get it, because it's very unlikely you're going to just guess 5 combinations on a lock. Or you can come to someone like me who's gone and done the 6 years of trial and error, who's gone and spent $300,000 on their business, who's gone and got every coach under the sun and done all of this different work, and then piece that together, that recipe, that method, and just go and hand you over the combination so that you can plug it in and go. And so I'm going to invite you to a key conversation with me. I'm opening up a couple of spots in my calendar. I only work 10 hours a week, so there's not a lot of times there, but I am opening a few spots for people who feel they'd like to know what is it they're missing in their business, what part of the password, the key is missing in their combination, so that they can break through to the next level and go to that elevated place in their business and their whole life. And so this is for the woman who is deeply desiring to commit, to go all in, who's ready for change and is just going to dive in to this work and is deeply ready to activate and implement what I share with them. It isn't for the woman who wants to be at the shallows, who's just flickering around, playing around with things, because again, my time is really precious. And I spend a lot of beautiful time with my son and like to have my business a set way. So I'm only giving these places to a few people who are really keen to nut down with me what is missing and really have a clear pathway into how to move forward for them. So if you'd like to book a call, please follow the link below. And I'd love to have a session with you if you are that woman who wants to go deep and is ready to become a pro and up level in their next place in business and life. But otherwise, ladies, thank you so much for them time with you, for spending this time, sending you all the love I can send, and just really wishing and praying for the most for you in your life and business to come.